Hello, algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and we're going to do 3 problems. If you'd like to pause the video and try the problems, I think that's a great idea. Here you go. There's problem number 1. Go ahead, try it. Here comes my solution. Now remember, Mr. Lawrence likes to get rid of that negative out here, this power out here first. I'm not going to square first, but I'm going to make it so it's positive. So I'm going to rewrite this. All I'm going to do, negative exponent means to use the reciprocal. Did you catch that, Ezra? Negative exponent means to use the reciprocal. Did you hear me, Jake? A negative exponent means to use the reciprocal. Did you catch that, Holly? Negative exponent means to use the reciprocal. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my fraction. Now nothing is going to change, whoa, except the position of everything. If the number is in the denominator, it'll move to the numerator. If the number is in the numerator, it'll move to the denominator. All right, 8x to the negative third, y to the fifth, z to the negative 7. Now it's to the second power. Now I will get my highlighters out, and I will highlight the stuff inside the fraction, the negative exponents that are going to move. Okay, Mike, notice I did not highlight the 8, right? Okay, now if I highlighted it, Dominic can tell you that if I highlight it, it's going to move. So the stuff in the numerator will go down and the stuff in the denominator will go up. Notice, Chris, that I don't move everything, I just move the highlighted stuff. All right, so now I'm going to take an extra second here. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to get my fraction bar. I'm going to have a 20 in the numerator. I've got an x to the 9th in the numerator. Notice he wasn't highlighted, so he didn't move. And then Megan can tell me it's going to go x to the 3rd in the numerator. Okay, there's an 8 in the denominator. Looks like there's a y to the 5th in the denominator. Looks like a y to the 2nd is going to join the y to the 5th. And then Rocky can tell you that you're going to switch these two numbers. So we're going to get a z to the 7th over a z to the 15th. All right, let me shorten up my fraction bar here. And I'm going to raise this to the second power. Now, before I square everything, I think Kaylee will tell you that we should simplify as much as possible. I'm going to find the GCF of 20 and 8. I believe it's 4. I'll divide by 4, and I will get 5 over 2. X to the 9th times x to the 3rd is x to the 12th. Y to the 5th times y squared is y to the 7th. And the z's, it'll be a z to the 8th, but won't it be in the denominator? Now I have to square everything. Be careful, a lot of you are making a mistake. Julianne, are you paying attention? We're going to get 5 squared, which is 5 times 5, so that's 25. And the same way, Julianne, we're going to do x to the 12th times x to the, not times 12, Mr. Lawrence, silly goose. All right, times x to the 12th, which is x to the 24th, right? Because I just add the exponents. All right, I'm going to get 2 squared, which is 4. Josie can tell me that y to the 7th squared is going to be y to the 14th. Okay, and then Aiden will do the hard part for us. Z to the 8th squared. What's that, Aiden? Yes, you're right, z to the 16th, and we are done. All right, here comes problem number 2. All right, here comes my solution. If you haven't tried it, please pause the video and try it. I'm going to get rid of this negative exponent. Don't like that being negative. No, not going to like that. So I'm going to make it a positive. How do I make it a positive? By using the reciprocal. And again, when I use the reciprocal, the entire fraction, I don't change exponents. That wouldn't be the reciprocal. The reciprocal is when the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator. So I don't want to change any signs on any exponents. Now let's do the positive first. And when I raise stuff to the positive first, nothing's going to happen. So I'm going to drop the quantity in the positive first power in the next step. So now I'm ready to identify stuff that will move. So again, x to the negative 3rd, and x to the negative 5th, a y to the negative 10th, a y to the negative 7th, and that's all that's going to move. So let's see here. Okay, Bailey. We're just going to write, what's my numerator going to look like, Bailey? What's that? Oh, yes, 28. X to the 5th, right? Because this x to the 5th is going to go up. this y to the negative 7th is going to go up. So I'm going to write a y to the positive 7th. And there's a z cubed. Nice job, Bailey. All right, so now I'm going to have a, oh, wait, who wants to do this one? Let me think here. Jacob will do it. Jacob, let's take the 28. Oh, I'm sorry, a 36 is downstairs, right? There's a 36. Okay, and the x to the negative third needs to go down. So that'll be x to the third. Y to the negative 10th will go down, and I'll get a y to the 10th. And then the z to the 9th will stay there. Remember, I said I was going to drop the quantity because it's only being raised to the first power. Well, that was kind of crazy. I didn't expect that to happen. So there is no quantity anymore. All right, now I'm going to simplify. Looking for the GCF of 28 and 36. I think it's going to be 4. And so I'll divide by 4, and I'll get 7 over 9. X to the 5th over x cubed will be an x squared in the numerator. A y to the 7th over y to the 10th will be a y cubed in the denominator. And z cubed over z to the 9th will be a z to the 6th in the denominator. And I'm done. And hopefully this stuff is starting to get easy. One last problem for you. Same kit and caboodle. All right, let me think here. Caitlin, you don't like to start with this negative 3, do you? You like to start on the inside. So I'll tell you what, Caitlin, just for you and the other kids that like to do that, I'm going to start on the inside. I'm going to do this, that, and that. And so I'm going to rewrite the inside. Now you got to be careful. Don't lose this quantity. You can't say, oh, I'm just going to add it in later. It's not sound mathematics to do that. So I'm going to have 12 x to the 7th. The y to the 3rd is going upstairs. The z squared is upstairs. And the z to the negative 7th moves up. So does z to the positive 7th. In the denominator, I'll have a 16. I'll have an x squared. The y to the 5th is going to move down. And that's it. Okay, so now I'm going to simplify everything that I can. So 12/16 is the same as 3/4. X to the 7th over x squared will be x to the 5th. Y cubed over y to the 5th will be y squared. And z squared times z to the 7th is z to the 9th. But that is all being raised to the negative 3rd power. Now, Caitlin, I have to deal with this negative. And a negative exponent means to use the reciprocal, right? So I'm going to have to flip my fraction. So I'll get a 4y squared in my numerator, a 3x to the 5th, z to the 9th in the denominator, and that'll be cubed. Now I have to cube everything. So 4 cubed is 64. Y squared cubed, that'll be y squared times y squared times y squared, which is y to the 6th. 3 cubed is 27. X to the 5th cubed would be x to the 5th times x to the 5th times x to the 5th, or x to the 15th. And z to the 9th cubed, by the same logic, would be z to the 27th. And there you go. Piece of cake. All right, that's your video for tonight. Don't stay up too late watching the Browns game. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Oh, that was last night. My mistake. Have a good night, everybody.